What's that in your mouth? You nicked somebody's Scotch eggs. Where the hell did you get them from? I don't know how he did it, but he got 2 Scotch eggs and his chops. Don't know where he picked them up from, but he's picked them up. Mister, what are you going to do with them? What are you going to do with them? I think he's going to eat them. Oberon, stop. Oberon, stop. What's that in your mouth? You nicked somebody's Scotch eggs. Where the hell did you get them from? I don't know how he did. There we go. There we go. Right, tonight we're going to be making my famous sponge cake. Now the ingredients for this is 165 grams of caster sugar, a 1/4 cup of boiling water with 10 grams of butter inside it just to let it melt, and the most important ingredient is 4 large eggs, and that's basically it. And if, when you're going to bake it on a moderate oven, sort of like 160 is usually good. So how to start this off is it's going to take 10 minutes and it's going to get noisy. Oh hi baby boy. So just break all the eggs into a big mixing dish like here. For someone who doesn't take eggs, I don't particularly eat eggs unless it's in an actual dish, you know, how like a cake. Let me just quickly rinse my hands. There we go. So we've got 4 eggs in there, so now what we have to do is to mix it. And during the olden times they used to do this by hand, but these days we've got this. So it's going to get a bit noisy, but it'll take a good 10 minutes. Just keep beating it all the time. I got this time when I was married to Jacqueline. It was a wedding present. It's always stayed with me. Oh, bloody things fell off. I'm afraid they're a bit old. What I have to do is keep them really forced down actually on the actual eggs. It takes roughly about 10 minutes to get this. What you want to do is get this as light and fluffy as possible. starting to fluff up now. Realise these were falling off so bloody easily. Yeah, that's a bit better. This is more like a comedy show tonight, isn't it? Getting a nice fluffy red on it now. Secret of this, if you use the machine to beat it, it makes the cake a lot lighter. get thick and foamy. This is the most time-consuming part of it. Let me try a bit different time. It was starting to annoy me there. The noise is, as you can tell, is deafening, but I've got it started so I can use my own hand whisk here. I mean, this is how it was done in the good old days. Right, so what we want to do now here is sift in the sugar first. There's 165 grams of sugar. Do it a spoon at a time. Give it a good mix through and then put in with another spoon. You want it to completely dissolve into the actual cake mixture here. Well, the egg mixture so far. I'll wait till the January sales and I might get myself a new mixer. I think that one's really, it's over 30 years old. It was a wedding present from family when me and Jacqueline were married. And I've had it for all this time. I used to have a bowl and stuff like that, attachments, so you could actually do it hands-free. But over time it just fell apart. But I think, well, if I'm selling the bells with people, the more bells I sell, I think there's other things that I want to get, like booties for Rory, but I'll take care of that nearer the time, especially for January. But at the moment I need to get myself some things to help out in the kitchen. I think actually getting a new mixer might be on the January sales list for me, so I'll be checking out for that. If anybody's got any recommendations for a mixer, just a small one, not a big one. Right, now there's 155 grams of flour, self-raising flour. I've sifted it about 4 times and also mixed into that 1 tablespoonful of corn flour. And I've sifted it about half a dozen times. They recommend 3 times at least that you do it. And just add that just a little bit at a time. This is your main body of your cake. Now they say you can do this by hand, but I think it's just a bit too messy. Just work it all in nice and gently. And get there. So I've got the oven preheated to 160. And just mix that in. Now I've got my water and my butter here melted. 10 grams of butter and 250 milligrams of boiling water, butter melted into it. So just pour that into the mixture. And you should have like a soggy mess, which I most certainly have got a soggy mess here. So make sure that's all nicely mixed up. There we go. Now what I need to do next is get the, what do you call it? Oh, I've got the pans here, let me just wash my hands. So I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Hello Debbie, hi Debbie, hello Nicole. Missed the first 5 minutes, Debbie. Oh, you didn't miss much, I was just saying the ingredients in about the first 5 minutes. It's 165 grams of caster sugar, 4 eggs, 150 grams of self-raising flour, 10 grams of butter melted in about 250 ml of boiling water, so that the butter obviously melts into it. So now that we've got that, good, his things, where's the milk? What did I do? Oh, no, that's not the milk. Oh, that's the milk. I was just making myself a cup of tea there, sorry about that. There we go. So, right, we've got my 2 pans here. And what we're going to do is pour the mixture now. I always put, what do you call it? Greaseproof paper on the bottom, but around the edges, I just add a little bit of butter. That's it. And that stops it from sticking at the side. Thank God that landed on that. And that will stop your, and also put a little bit of butter on the bottom when you put your lining in the bottom of it. I'll do the same here. So these are on a moderate heat for approximately 25 minutes. Well, 25 minutes. What I'll do is, I've got Obi's dish to actually do next as well, and I'm making him a chicken stew, because he loves his chicken, Obi does. I'll add that in the bottom. And take your spatula. And what you want to do is obviously pour the ingredients evenly between the 2 pans. And this should rise in the oven. Just make sure you mix it all right out to the very edges. And get as much of it as you can, no wastage. And I think the eggs could have been a bit thicker. I could have got them a bit thicker, but I'm going to have to see if I can repair them until I actually do get a new mixer. But definitely anything. So right, we've got these and they take 25 minutes. So if you give me a second, let me get my phone. I want to time this properly. There we go. Just get my timer. I'll give it 24. And then I can look at it. So put these in the middle oven, middle shelf of the oven. There we go. There we go. Let's throw that out the bin. In the bin. That in there. That over there. 25 minutes. Right. Oh, let me get all this out of the way first. Right. Crazy thing. Oh. So one thing I noticed when I got the chicken out today for Oberon's dinner, there's exactly 750 grams, which is roughly about 3 days, but it's already cooked, so it's not going to take so long to do. Now how I do this is I make up a stock first, chicken stock and bit of flour, just to get it sort of nice and thick. So all you do is get the chicken, pour it in, now what I'll do is I'll add this straight away. Want to make sure you get as much of the stock as you can. Now here's a little trick. When you're you know you've still got stock in the bottom, just put a little bit of water over it. Stir it like you would a cup of tea, because when I make up the stock, I make it really thick, so I can add at the end up this little bit of water, so it takes absolutely everything out of it, so you get everything into the pot. Right, so we've got our so we put the normal stuff on it, don't we? We put the turmeric, remember turmeric's one of the best spices you can get. Even try to add turmeric to your actual own dinners, because it's a good cancer preventative. What I think it does is it neutralizes sugars. Obviously mint, for the bad breath and stuff. Right, now Phoebe doesn't have bad breath, but then that's because I probably put mint into it. Parsley. Parsley's a really good thing to have as well. Parsley's really good for the older dogs, or dogs that have had an operation. This really helps. And last but not least, thyme. Thyme's really good with liver function, and it's got fibre in it, which is quite important. Now I'm not going to put too much garlic into it, just the tiniest amount, because remember the turmeric family's part of the garlic family. Only turmeric smells a lot nicer, unless the the garlic's actually on garlic toast now, it's a bit different. Now the next thing I want to do is, I've got that cream, but I've cleaned everything. Oh, let me just quickly clean this mixer. That's the drawback of having a small kitchen. I'll see if I can get them to jam in this time properly, so that I want to make the whipped cream. Whipped cream's really easy. Anyway, we've got all that stuff in there. All we need to do now really is turn it on. I'm going to put it at a low heat and leave it at a low heat. Where's the lid? There's the lid. I mean, that's all basically for 3 days worth of food, yeah, and because it's already pre-cooked, it'll be cooked through in about 2 hours time, so he's going to have a nice dinner. That's why I wanted to do the show a little bit earlier. One, so I can show you how I make my cake. I haven't made a cake for such a long time. But I think what it is I'm going to have to cut this part up off here, because I think these are the wrong ones for this. I think when me and Jacqueline parted, she gave me the mixing spoons to another one, and it was a newer one, I think. But yeah, right, so everybody knows how you get whipped cream, but I don't know if this is going to be too small. That's one of the things I've always forgotten how, actually this is already quite thick. It's because it was in the freezer. I think it actually needs time to actually still. It's like ice cream. I don't think I'm going to be whipping this. No way. Too thick. That's because it's been in the freezer. How strange. I didn't know it would act like that. I mean, it's definitely cream, but if it's got the consistency of ice cream. I think it's just due to the fact that it's been in the fridge. But if it stays like that, this is obviously the topping for one of the cakes, as well as strawberry jam. That's the only other two ingredients that's in the cake, is cream and jam. And that's a basic Victoria sponge. I haven't baked in this oven yet, but I'm looking forward to see what I get. But yeah, let me just tidy up. I'm one of these people that if I've cooked in the kitchen, I have to clean it up straight away, because I don't like to leave it, because I might be using the surface for something else. Like, I'm actually, while I'm here, I can actually take care of my my sourdough. The sourdough's on its 3rd week now. No, sorry, it's on its 2nd week, and I've been feeding it every day, taking a little bit out, putting a little bit in, taking a little bit out, putting a little bit in. That's what you do on a daily basis, and that's what gives you a really nice sort of light and fluffy bread. Oh, I needed that. Hello Wendy, hi there. Debbie, Greta, it's great to see you ladies here. Hello Andrea, hello Wanda, hi Gary, Nicola Adams. You know people, my little sister makes the most amazing what do you call it, most amazing gatto, Black Forest gatto. She's absolutely fantastic at baking, the same as me. There's one thing about Adamses, is we're all good bakers. Our grandfather was a master baker during the war, and I think at one time he worked at Glen Eagles, and he met all those people like Bing Crosby and all that. And I said, did you like Bing Crosby? And he said no, he says he was a wife beater. So our family, Adams by name, Adams by nature. So that's all this done now. All it is to do is to check the oven in 13 minutes. It does the same thing. The thing is with baking soda, it has a really, really powerful back taste. Yeah, it's one or the other. I prefer corn flour because one, it's got no taste, no odour, it just sits in there. It does the exact same thing as baking powder. But this makes the corn flour makes it, for my thing, it makes it feel lighter. It's a lighter cake, it's not heavy, it's not stodgy. I mean, if you put something like cocoa into it, then it will start to feel much thicker but light, if you see what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like a big heavy mess on your hand. Unfortunately, baking powder can do that. Baking powder, you always have to put less in, but yeah, I've always used corn flour. It's just the same thing, but I think corn flour makes it a lighter cake. Not as heavy as some of them. I'm surprised at that. So actually, it feels like it's been whipped, that cream. So maybe that's a little idea in future. Instead of having to mix it, put it in the freezer and leave it there, and it seems to congeal together like an ice cream, which is what you're looking for the sponge cake. But anyway, thanks for asking, Debbie. Who else? Yeah, exactly. Baking powder, it does have it. Corn flour does the exact same thing as baking powder. Anyway, thank you all for watching. What I'll do is, when the cake is ready, I will bring it out and I will take a picture of it and show you all on here. Maybe give it about an hour to 45 minutes because it still has to breathe when it comes out. I mean, obviously when you take the cake out, you put it on a wire mesh so that the steam can just get away. Anyway, thank you all for watching. We will be back probably tomorrow. And yeah, thank you all for watching us. It says good night, God bless, and take care. And I'm looking forward to seeing a video, Nicole, of the girls with the bells on. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Oberon, stop. Oberon, stop. What's that in your mouth? You nicked somebody's Scotch eggs. Where the hell did you get them from? I don't know how he did it, but he got 2 Scotch eggs in his chops.